Welcome back to Breaking Borderlands. In our last episode, you saw me do my boss run strategy, just to have, some waypoint-friendly bosses chained together. It cuts down on some loading times for us console players and gets you a chance for some drops that you maybe didn't realize you needed. But you probably asked yourself, why wasn't DLC 4 thrown in there? Why didn't you do anything, point out any of those bosses? There aren't that many for DLC 4. It's very linear and spaced out, and honestly, it's one of my favorites. It's still well put together. It just doesn't fit in that whole line of thinking. So we've gone ahead and started it, got through the meadows and whatnot, and got explained exactly what we have to do and find pieces for the statue. So we're going to get into that first quest. I do believe they go backwards chronologically. So it's going to start with the memory that was the most recent and then end up with his oldest one before we get into this so-called Valhalla of what makes a psycho a psycho. But I just wanted to take the time to explain that, this isn't the best one to throw in there. There's always going to be a little bit of running to the boss, and I mean, I guess here in the first one you could take the halfway bosses and throw them in there. But I think there's still some speedrunning past some ads that has to be done. I can't remember specifically. Between this DLC and then the director's cut missions, I've only done them a handful of times, I will admit. But I've decided to not run the Schluter through this DLC. Pardon me. Honestly, it wouldn't be a bad idea to run it, just because it gives any enemy a chance to drop world loot, or at least any named enemy. Honestly, it might not be the worst idea. Just because I don't know most of the good weapons to get through here, I haven't tried them out myself. So, now if I remember correctly, this is always legendary if you're on Mayhem 10 or 11. Oh, with consecutive hits. I don't know if that will work the way I want that to work. I've never tested out. Experimentation time. Pardon me again. So now we get through a little more of the explaining. Alright.
To use an archaic definition of the word awesome. Awesome.
Okay, this is exactly what I was talking about. You are the worst. You're letting our mind go to shambles.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
If this is a memory, I'm not sure where you were, but that's a lot of meat.
I have very different ideas of fun. Oh, rip the organs from their flesh pockets. Okay, he's really excited to start looking for that buzz axe.
Oh yeah. Well, let's go find the bug axe.
The flesh horn must blow.
The what?
Yes, I see. The flesh horn. Of course. It's so obvious.
Really, man? Blow the flesh horn? You do know how that sounds, don't you?
No, by all technical means, this actually shouldn't work as well as I think it should with the consecutive hits. But no, it does work the way I think it works. But to be completely honest, any Scourge with this setup is vicious just for the rapid fire capability of it all. So, yeah, that's going in the repertoire. I'm actually gonna go back to Old Faithful though, because stacking together fire and radiation can easily clear most rooms. Oh, now I'm stuck up in a thing. Alright, there we go. Now, what she's talking about is these little things will pop up and you'll be able to do some target practice. I'm not gonna bother right now. No. Nope. It's not what I thought it was. Let's speed run ahead a bit. Don't mind the creepy eyeballs as they watch you. Super creepy. Alright, and now all the side quests here are pretty self-contained. So if you want to just get a little extra experience, then go ahead and do them. I mean, literally, most of them you don't leave the spot you start the quest. But
That must be the
it fits.
flesh horn.
Yummy.
Looks like he's giving you the honors. Now to see if the castle returns the call. Rivers of Thora and Slugrod! Assault the meat castle! Rip it from the seams! Time to take the battle to them.
No, you don't have to take out the wave of enemies that appears if you're just speed running it. Now this one can get rather confusing because there's a lot of different paths to be taken and a couple of, like, that's a jump point like we've been taking, but it's just not active. So you're gonna come up to the left side, get around back. And there's the castle. And then we get locked out. What do you know? I'm just like, why does the COV have catapults? It makes no sense. But whatever. Nothing makes sense around here.
I suppose you will have to play along in order to achieve our goals. Then again, I do not imagine that slaughtering yet more children of the vault will pose a problem, you mouth-watering force of nature, you. Maurice has been giving me morale-building lessons. I hope I am doing it right.
So yet more waves of enemies. Now, one thing is this area contains the enemy with the most health in the game. I'm good. I don't think we need any of that going for us at the moment. Excuse me, don't get me wrong. My build's good. I just don't think it's take out the bullet sponge good.
Point the darts upon the score.
Alright.
I love a good arcing trajectory.
I am the spear of the twin god.
So head this way.
Some days you hunt, some days you are hunted.
Now, you can see this is the waypoint before the midway bosses. How far we had to actually run to get here. That's one of the reasons I say there's no waypoint friendly boss. There's nothing you can just load to and then directly hit the boss. And that's pretty much the entirety of this DLC, having none of them to add to the list that I'm aware of, or remember, I should say. But
He said you're a skag, dog.
so now we see the negative portrayal that Insane Krieg has of the other Crimson Raiders.
Yeah, I'm married to a bird. Whoa, calm down, man. This obviously isn't real. Don't start a fight. I am the crusher of whip-crack lacerations!
Can this indubitable barbarian even proper language?
Yeah! Learn to talk, dumbass!
Caca, he said. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna switch things up here. I think that would be the best bet we've got running for us. Ubiquitous. Alright, so I like to take out Morty first.
Don't hold back!
Oh, I hit the bird too. I didn't know we could hit the bird too. Unless that hit brick. That did hit brick. Now, if I could get this... to not hit them both. How is that... I don't see how that tractor grenade is hitting them both, unless they're considered to be the same enemy. I'm not entirely sure how that's working out, actually. But that is best used on a single enemy. Might as well. Now, it's not the best idea because most of the fountain shots miss him. But that last one will come down on top of him, and they have fantastic damage, especially off a crit. There we go. Now, if you're running the Schluter, it'd be best to get them both down before you take them out. But he has... I'm not gonna say immunity phases, because that's not exactly what it is. But Brick has some high damage resist. There we go.
That trench is run deep. Oh man, I'm telling you, they're our friends, okay?
Ooh, the convergence. Now, sadly this doesn't have the anointment I'd be looking for, but this gun can give you the classic conference call feel from Borderlands 2. Because yes, you can find a conference call, but they've nerfed it so hard. I don't know why.
Well, look at this sleepy asshole. Wait,
Way too sleepy.
let's just launch this corrosive oaf at the gate. No! The coroner wants the full stock! Gargantuan! He needs to be bigger.
Yep.
Guess we can feed him. See if you guys can find some skags nearby. These guys will eat anything.
Alright.
Fascinating. Krieg seems to have internalized his
At least I think this is the gun that I'm thinking of.
that myself. I often
I'm hoping it is.
By my superior intellect, but I content
So we're
myself
gonna
with
test it out on some skag. Yep.
I like your enthusiasm, Beast.
So you can see hitting a target rings centralized pellets in. Yeah, I definitely want one of these in Gamma Burst. That's cool. I like it. I might actually try and farm that, but for now we need to do some crowd controlling. So I'm just gonna go back to Old Faithful here.
You there. How are your last breaths?
And the reason I call it Old Faithful, there's two reasons. One, with all the world drop techniques that I've shown you, this is one of the easiest rocket launchers to acquire. That fits the bill for our purposes. But I've had this guy for almost the entire run. I want to say it was the first Scourge that dropped for me. So, once we hit max level, that is. So hence why it's Old Faithful, not to mention, I say the first Scourge that dropped. It was the first Scourge that dropped with the Anointment. So that allows me to have the fire damage, which is great for pretty much all beasts and what have you. But then I get that gamma damage in the background, which is, you know, even more damage to spread amongst groups of enemies, as well as a good option to take out shields.
Come on back.
And between those two damages, you won't have armor stand up for long. You get the idea. And not to mention the Scourge isn't the worst thing for bossing. If you get the distance long enough from your target, then you can actually have all those smaller projectiles hit with the big one. But, yeah. There are better options when it comes to bossing. To be completely honest, I kind of messed up my last bossing video just because I kept my Red Fang class mod on. And very easily you could have done more damage if you would have switched your class mod to the Bounty Hunter. But I just prefer the survivability of the boss pays attention more to the jabber. So now we have one more thing to add to this whole shebang bang.
No, not yet. I think we can do a little more damage with this one.
Blast rods for the Z man.
I was just thinking the same thing. Let's find some dynamite.
There's some dynamite right here, bud.
Wow! Castrate the sheep.
Well, down the hatch. Or in the hatch, anyway. Man, this guy can sleep through anything.
Apparently. Alright, let's line her up.
Launch him.
Bon voyage.
Alright.
Nice projectile is not enough. The gate still stands.
Full doom from the big black high
Excuse me.
Shoot down the moon.
Crack the shell with a hard place.
Okay, you heard the man. Shoot down the moon.
I have dreamed of this day. The great celestial hunt begins.
I don't think this works the way they think this works. This isn't Grand Theft Auto, you can't... Okay. Well, that just happened. Let's go get the moon.
Okay. Admit when I was wrong. Go pick up the moon.
Alright, now this should look somewhat familiar. We've been here before.
beyond the pale. Get it? Because the moon is... No, you know what? If you do not get it, you do not deserve to get it. Now please, carry on.
So now we get to come through this meat tunnel. And now we can pick up the moon.
Now, let's get to that last catapult.
I'm just speedrunning past everything. Now, if this looks familiar, if you're a cartoon fan, then you'll get the pun. I just don't think I've got the grit right now to take him down. So let's see. Actually, I might need more damage. Alright.
I like you better dead.
Knock knock. It would help if I could hit the guy. Yeah, he's got health for days. Well, how about that? We got him. Took us a minute, but we got him, and he gave us a lovable rogue. Ah, it's one of my favorites. Just because I'm a Star Wars fan, so I get the reference. But let's go back to Old Faithful. Actually, real quick. That way we're holding the rogue. This one, again, is not in the anointment I want. It always comes in electric. And I'm not entirely sure if that's his dedicated drop. But you can see he took even more damage than the Ruiner did. I mean, I fired about twice as many shots and he was taking them to the face. But now we're here at the last... I don't... real quick. Just because I don't think I want to take this weapon into the next boss fight. So I'm going to see if anybody is left to spawn down here. There we go. Because it has sticky jets. But then those sticky jets have a chance to send out these little homing rockets. So, can be used for some crowd control if done right.
Furious rage.
But switch weapons or reload to have the stickies go off. Now with our whole setup, you can be adding to the magazine the entire time. So you can have this majorly extended. And I don't think those things home very well. At least they don't home towards the first intended target. Oh, I love Torg weapons. So easy to see when you missed your target. But yeah, it has some good capability, especially if you've got splash going in your corner. I'm just not a splash build, so... I'd just rather stick with Old Faithful. Which is funny, I say I'm not a splash build. I'm not boosting splash damage as much as some other builds could for that gun. Right. But moving on after that whole demonstration. Now that I think about it, I'm probably gonna need... No, I need homing capability for the last boss, that's right. She's highly mobile. Let's line it up.
Now, Frank. Funny word.
And now crank it.
Now I guess we loaded up the moon.
And then we load it on up.
The night come. Do it.
Alright. And now the gate is open.
Good. The sooner we get that buzz axe, the sooner I can get out of this madhouse.
I didn't realize how bad it's gotten around here. It's really twisted things up. Rick and Morty.
So now head back for the castle.
Sapphire Star. Fair point. Guess you do make an exception for her.
There's another side quest back there.
Siege and seize the engine of war.
But again, you literally stand there to do the whole side quest.
Detecting a malevolent presence, similar to the evil Brick and Mordecai entities you encountered earlier. I cannot ascertain the source. Then again, may simply be some malevolent gunk on my equipment.
I'm just speed running past.
So you're still alive. I was hoping you'd run. Screw that.
Who comes to spit Thorn?
And yet another side quest that's self-contained down there. So now we're just running to go take on Evil Lilith. And this place can get rather confusing. There's a side quest that'll lead you back here, but I want to say you have to get it after we're done here and go back to the same sanctuary. So now, when you reach this point and you jump up here, you can head right for the intended direction, or you come over here and be careful as you drop down. Red chest. And then I like to jump through all the viscera and head back up.
You're just a weapon to be thrown away, Krieg. Too dangerous to be around real people.
And now there's a stairwell. If you don't skip it, there's a hole in the wall that has a chest in it, but I'm just going to use the elevator.
To destroy something. None of us care if you ever come home again.
Rude. Alright. Oh, but just stop with doing that.
Getting fun shots for your gunshots at Doctor's Ed's portable clinic.
Okay. Alright. So now, final boss of the area time. She doesn't really have ads as much as... I don't know if the energy balls that we shoot count. But I'm gonna need damage. I really should just be running damage over loot anyway, but...
Put you down myself.
Alright, now, you're not gonna be able to hit the leech on her a lot. And I'm not entirely sure how well it's going to home. Seems to be doing just fine, but she will teleport a lot. So, pretty much just pick a channel and hope for the best. Now again, I don't have my bossing class mod on. I want her to focus on the jabber. Because the easiest thing to do is just aim for the jabber, because that's what she's aiming for. If she's going to be close to him, then the rockets do their work. At least that's the idea.
Give in to the bloodlust beast.
You know, anytime you think you can land a taser, go ahead and do it. But when she enters the second phase, she's gonna start leaving energy orbs everywhere. Oh, she's still immune, isn't she? Yep. Just because she has to Goku charge. As sirens do, apparently. Alright. And now, you can see she leaves these orbs everywhere. They don't seem to be auto-targetable. But you can take them out, so now I'm curious to see if that counts. Nope, that does not count. Good information to have. And she gone. She seems to drop a lot of money.
Whoa, check it out.
And then the faulty star.
Come on.
So, if you're a tank-like build and can just take the damage, this is a really good shield for you. Just because when damaged, there's a chance to trigger a Nova around the attacking enemy. All you Amara players, it can be quite damaging. I'm sure that there's some other stuff that can be done with it, but I'm not aware of anything personally. Now, at the end of all these memories, you're going to have this little white, like I'm stuck in the Matrix type room that's holding the key and then the, you know, conclusion to the memory.
I know it's easy to think they hate us. You remember what really happened after that mission, right?
So, for example, here,
Here, I'll show you.
he goes over the memory of when he got back, how, you know, they were full of camaraderie. Whenever the memory itself is concluded, this turns into a small treasure room, and then you can head back to Sanity Sanctum and start the next mission, or pick up the side quests for this area. But, yeah. Hopefully you found this informative and entertaining. I'll pick it up at the next memory in the next video. Peace.